Monday, April 3rd, 2017.
Live from the Groove Surfer Studio, it's Coffee
With Stripes. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
What's up, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. This is Joe.
This is Mike.
And this is Stripes. This is Coffee with Stripes. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it and start with our classic, Today or Tomorrow.
Bring them at me.
In this segment, I ask Joe a question directly from the headlines, and he decides, is this something scientists are working on?
One more to go.
Or if they're doing today. All right. 3D printed bones.
What?
That can be grafted into humans successfully.
3D printed bones, huh?
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of jokes I can make right now about grafting 3D bones into people. But I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to, through great moral strength, I am going to go ahead and say that that is definitely happening today.
Today, he says. Synthetic bones promote natural bone regeneration after being implanted into animals. Researchers at the University of Evanston in Illinois have used a 3D printer to generate hyper-realistic bone.
For horses?
Calcium mineral, which is mixed in polymers.
It has been horses
it has been
shot?
It has been grafted into mice, rats, and one macaque.
Oh, okay, so no horses yet.
No horses, and also
little creatures with small, thin, easily regenerative bones and quick life cycles.
Well, basically the things that you test this kind of stuff on. It's not in human production
humans yet. Okay.
But this also ties in. Do you remember many episodes ago we talked about the 3D printed robot boy, or the Robo Boy?
Yes.
And that his hands were not so much just Terminator kind of things, but actually mimicked the human bone structure. And
complex ligaments and all that kind of stuff, musculature.
So now being able to make that out of a similar calcium to how bones are actually made, and take a look at this GIF, and I'll show how it's.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's pretty interesting there.
That is interesting.
So they have put it into animals, but not humans. I tricked Joe again. It is tomorrow.
You know, I just jumped the gun on that one, and I instantly assumed that the purpose of that science being forwarded was to prevent the shooting of racehorses that break their legs, because that's what I would.
Well, it is the University of Illinois. If it was the University of Kentucky, that would be a shoe-in.
Yeah, that would be a horseshoe-in. All right. So what do we got on the roster there, Mikey Poo?
A new segment that explains what goes on in my mind that we're going to call Mike Doesn't Get It.
Mike doesn't get it. What don't you get, Mike?
You know what I don't get?
No.
Why there's different names for different groups of animals.
Why are there different
names? There's a pod of orcas.
Yes.
There's a pack of wolves.
A storm of crows.
A murder of crows, I
believe it is. A murder of crows. Yeah, I bet you're right. What else? There were some other funny things.
Even hyenas and there was a cats. A clouder
of cats.
A clouder of cats.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what I think, Mike, because I did some research about this. All right, because I don't get it either, and it's kind of it's peculiar to the English language that we use a different collective noun for groups of animals, and it has its roots in the deep tradition among English-speaking peoples of having hunting parties.
What?
Yes, hunting parties. And I'm talking about, we go way back to the 1200s and stuff. What is the sport?
Oh, so is that so you could say I'm following the flock, and you wouldn't have to say the birds, or I'm following the pack, I'm hunting the wolves.
It also gives you a specialized language used amongst hunters, all right, that predates commonality of written language that basically makes it, it makes it like a code language.
I'm looking up to see if there's a collective noun for Dalmatians.
Yeah, look it up. Well,
Feel-
yeah, I think Dalmatians are just dogs, so I think you're gonna find it.
There's not a special one.
Sorry, Stripes. But yeah, it's something that's peculiar to the English language, where we have all of these different collective nouns for groups of animals, instead of just calling every group of birds a flock, or calling every group of ungulates, that is hoofed mammals, a herd, or calling every, well, there's really only one social group of cats, and that is lions, and that is called the pride of lions.
The pride
But
of
what would you
lions.
call a bunch of tigers? I bet if you look up right now, there's a word for a bunch of tigers.
Well, we
That
got to
doesn't
check
happen.
in here with the dogs thing, and well, if it's puppies, then it's a litter of
Litter
puppies.
of puppies. I
But-
think a litter of
But
puppies.
if they're pups, then it's called a piddle.
All right. Well, all right. So this
piddle.
is where taxonomy gets even
Stripes
more tedious.
is from a piddle.
All right. So you call a litter of puppies, that refers only to that batch of puppies. All right. If you think about puppies like they're muffins coming out of an oven, all right. Think about each individual batch coming out of each individual oven.
Yes, I
There's your
see.
litters.
I
If
see.
you got two different puppy moms having two different litters, you don't call them the litter. There's two different litters, So
So here's a trivia question for
Okay.
you, and let's do this for the listeners out there. Trivia
day.
We're going to pause the video for you, and then you can answer after this little short segment if you're watching just the clip. But what is the collective noun, a group of owls, called? Do you have any idea?
A group? I would say it's a council of owls.
Council?
Yes.
Wow, very, very close. Why don't you type in your answer now?
A senate of owls.
Very, very, very close.
Oh, a congress of owls.
Oh, even closer.
Oh, how can I be freaking closer than that?
It's a parliament. So there's the Shipwreck
All
Tavern.
right, no need to email in the right answer anymore, but yeah.
No, we'll make the small segment for that one, and
okay.
we'll see. But
Okay.
there's a West Seattle bar called the Parliament.
Yes.
It's where the Shipwreck Tavern used to be, right next to the Vidiot, where we went and played arcade games the other day.
Yeah, Vidiot, by the way, is awesome. That's a great local business.
And it's called the Parliament, and it's named after a group of owls. They have little pictures of owls out there, and I thought that was...
And that makes sense now because it's called the Parliament, and you go and there's a bunch of... You know what? There's so many cool, quirky local businesses out there. I feel like, Mike, I wish there was just some way that we could reach out to all these awesome local businesses and somehow talk to them.
That brings us to the next point
Oh,
where
does it?
where this episode is brought to you by Mr. Prindle and our friends at North Seattle Transmission Company. Do you need any work done on your transmission? Complete service, repair, and overhaul, foreign and domestic. Come on down to North Seattle Transmission.
Mr. Prindle.
How do you like that? Our first live read.
I like that. That is our first live read. That was a commercial, everybody.
Yeah. We're doing sponsorships now.
We're getting sponsorships. Hey, that reminds me. If you want to get in on our Coffee with Stripes sponsorship program, please send an email to stripes@coffeewithstripes.com.
That's
Thank
how
you.
you get a hold of us.
That's how you get a hold of us. It's that simple. We got nothing else to do. Like, we will put the commercial together.
Speaking of reader emails,
Yeah? Oh,
you can also send in questions, and it looks like Stripes has a question.
yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
What do you got there, Mike?
All right, this is from Jack Torrance, Colorado, writes, Dear Stripes, I am holed up with my family in a 4-star hotel in the middle of a blizzard. Just wondering, any suggestions to pass the time? Work hard, play hard. Jack Torrance.
Wow, okay. So you're in the middle of a blizzard with your family, and you're all alone in a 4-star hotel. Well, that's pretty interesting, Jack. I would say if you had any hobbies, like you finally have some time, you could let your family go off and do their thing, and spend some of your time getting some alone time in. I don't know if you have any hobbies like drawing or painting, maybe writing. You could sit alone and get a lot of work done in that avenue. Like, some guys want to paint a really nice picture or write a really cool song or try to write a novel, something like that. You got to sit down and really commit to hacking it out. You know what I'm saying? Also, I mean, let's be honest, man, you're alone in the middle of a blizzard. Booze. I would go straight for the booze. Now, I would just go. There's probably a bar in that hotel somewhere.
Hotels do have a bar.
You're
4-star
alone in the
hotels
bar.
usually have many.
It's not like the owner of the bar is going to come back and be pissed at you for stealing some liquor. You'll be like, dude, I was in a blizzard in the middle of the hotel. Like, I stole some booze. Like, he's not. Come on, man. Just go talk to the booze. Here's another thing, man. Sometimes it's healthy for adults to make up, like, imaginary friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get sick of talking to your wife and the kids. Maybe you have a couple boozes and you just kind of chat it up with some kind of, like, imaginary friend. What do you think, Mike?
I've talked to imaginary friends before.
I thought Mike was my imaginary friend for, like, a year.
Yeah.
And it turns out one day he, like, talked to somebody else in front of me, and then I was like, shit, he's real.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your
Stripes
question.
was telling you that the whole time.
Yeah, I know. Dude,
Mike's is
Stripes talks hella shit about you, Mike. But at any rate, Jack, I hope that helps you pass the time up there in Colorado in the middle of that blizzard. Also, you know what? Look around, because sometimes those 4-star hotels have really cool things like hedge mazes outside. Like, you might find something kind of buried out there, a snowmobile. You know, you could do some car maintenance. You know, get in there and look at those distributors. All right.
That was a letter to Stripes. So, we're about at the end of the show, but we do need to say one thing. Have you ever thought about coming to a taping of Coffee with Stripes? Well, guess what? We're bringing this show on the road. We're going to bring it to you May 21st. Write it down. Say it again.
Live. 21st. Live. May 21st at the substation.
The substation in Ballard, we're going to do a live taping of Coffee with Stripes. Come in, be part of the audience, be part of the show. We're going to get you involved. You have some games. We're going to have some fun giveaways. And you might even get a selfie with Stripes if you ask him nice enough.
You know what? I heard Stripes is going to be cutting his usual fee for selfies like in a third for this show. So, I mean, this is a good time to get in on some of that economic opportunity.
He likes club soda. Buy him a club soda next time you see him. All right, everybody, that's our show. Should we take it out on some music?
Let's take him home.